Alright, what is up, you beautiful people, and welcome back to another Direct Strike Weekly Brawl. Tier list with Phoenix. We got some... Okay, we got Insight again. Okay, we got more Stockpile. Okay. I'm gonna put down Caldalis first. I'm gonna stop talking here. Boom. And, Did that guy make it out? He made it out. Okay, so... Oh my god, so Insight still isn't fixed yet. I can still see that I'm against the Haka. Okay, nice to know. There's a bunch of Ravissors, and there's Discharge, which means that our base structures don't have any shields, which is pretty bad news. And looks like we have a Swan on both teams, which is going to be really annoying, honestly, to deal with. So, because it's Discharge, what I'm going to be doing here is I'm just going to be going a bunch of Legionaries, I think. Oh my god, what happened to Caldalis' blades? You guys see that? Is that normal? Okay, no, that was not normal. Okay, anyways. I was like, are Caldalis' blades normally like that? Anyways, so I'm just going to go for a bunch of Legionaries. I think he can see that. I don't know, and it looks like we're against, there's an Artenius here, and I have no idea who this is. It's not a, no, oh, this is the Swan. This is the Swan. And then we have a Swan over here, too. Okay, so I'm just going to put down another one of these, get an Adept going. I need to put down my defensive structures. Okay, so this, I think it looks like it might be a Swan Brawl, but I feel like it's not. I'm gonna not put Caldalis in the middle. Maybe Caldalis gets targeted down if he's in the middle. Maybe that's just how it is. I forgot that I need to get Charge. Why don't my Legionaries... I forgot to get Charge, guys. I forgot to get Charge, guys. Anyways, because of Discharge, I feel like it's not a Swan Brawl, because damage that gets dealt to the buildings stick. So maybe, if we get a bit aggressive, it could work out for us. I don't know. Don't cross the streams, baby. So I'm gonna see if I can. There we go. Now I'm gonna go for another tier. How would you watch Crows Busted? Okay, let's see. So what does he have on his Dahaka? Each point grants 0.7 life. Oh, I didn't know that. Actually, never knew that. Okay. So let's see. Okay, so it focuses down one Legionary. The Legionaries are getting blasted down. Well, that really sucks. I only have Caldalis alive now. Oh, and that's why the Legionaries are so slow, because it got slowed by the roar. Jesus. Man, I'm losing to this because it's a Haka roar. That really sucks. Okay. Because I mean, I need more Legionaries. I'm gonna go for it. I just want to go for something hyper aggressive because I feel like this week I can just try and end the game ASAP. So let's see. Empowered Blades. Maybe I don't need Empowered Blades. Boom. I kind of maybe just also want to build some Immortals, I think, as well. So, we'll see. We'll see. Boom. Boom. Because I feel like Phoenix has the potential to be very aggressive early on. And so I'm going to try and build for the most aggressive wave I can. But it doesn't look like we're going to be able to push past the middle anytime soon because of the Swan laser beams. Like, the Swan laser beams are just super annoying here. Let's see. I think I have enough Legionaries now that I can easily overwhelm this position. Yeah, I got more Legionaries. So it's just a matter of time before he gets Igniters. Let's see. Actually, no, he went for a third gas. I can see how much gas my opponent's gone. I mean, the third gas doesn't mean much if we stay ahead of him. Let's see. I'm gonna get Talos over here. I'm gonna put her over on the side, just so that like her damage comes out on the side. And it looks like Swan here is coming up with tanks, while our Swan here is coming up with Goliaths. Interesting. There we go. Okay, and now I'm gonna invest in a gas here. Seems like the Haka's trying to go for a late game something. I think I might just be able to buy a bunch of disruptors. I don't know. But the double Swan is actually stalling the game up quite nicely. So maybe it isn't going to be that OP of an early game. Empowered Blades, debilitation system here. There we go. Caldalis should be able to just take everything down. It sucks that Caldalis is getting focused down by the laser beam, though. I don't like that. I've dug into this wave a bit, and Zagara actually, as you guys can see here, now has roaches, and they're just, you know, plain roaches. There's nothing special about them, but they're 65 minerals, so they're quite cheap, and it offers Zagara some secondary front line. Oh, and Zagara got the cannon. That's what I'm saying, guys. Without the shield structure, like, any damage you do is gonna stick real hard. So I feel like I have the opportunity to just go something super aggressive, like what I am doing right now. So there's more Ravisaurs coming out. This guy needs Igniters. He doesn't need more Ravisaurs. And he probably needs... probably not Zerglings, but yeah. By the way, guys, if you guys are new here to my channel and you guys enjoy Direct Strike content, be sure to watch this video until the end, because there is going to be a tier list about who I think is good this week, based on, well, what we see here. For the modifiers, and yeah, I'm gonna have more videos for the week, and I'm gonna be playing other commanders too, so if you guys like what you see, be sure to drop a sub to keep up with that, or unless you're watching this like right now and it's a bit later, and I've already come up with those videos, be sure to go check them out, because that's also, you know, gonna be a thing. Okay, I think I want to have my immortals here, so if I do want my balls of death, I'm gonna put them here. The best part is I can probably stealth my balls of death for good. And Balls of Death are quite good against Dahaka, I think. I want them to be asymmetrically stacked, I think. So that when they come in, they just blast an area on one side and just completely overwhelm it. I think I'm going to try that out. I don't want to have it balanced out here. So I'm going to have them over on the edge. And the best part is I can have them stealthed, like, for good. So now, like, they just can't be seen. But yeah, let's see. Dahaka's Ravisaurs are pretty bad against the science vessels. And here I come in. Boom. Do one of the balls still have a blast? Oh, they don't. I don't know if they have, uh-oh. Do I have another charge here? Balls of Death? Balls of Death? Oh! Oh, it didn't... Oh, I shouldn't have triggered it. Okay, whatever. Well, our opponent can't see my Balls of Death, so that's good. So I'm just going to buy more Balls of Death. There we go. I live on. Get some more Legionaries out there. He has an Impaler. Okay. He has Impalers. He's got a Swarm Host. Okay. Oh, okay. That means I need to get an Observer. And I'll put it down right here. So kind of him to let me see what he has built. I don't know what happened to Insight. I don't know why it's bugged up. Before it used to work. I don't know why it doesn't work now. That's really strange. It never used to be like this. But yeah, but I mean, I think Abathur would be pretty good, because he can just, his Swarm Host can just never unsiege if they don't have to. It feels like I'm wasting the Balls of Death here. Where is the Impaler? Okay, there it is. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, I'm getting Psy-Stormed here. Boom, boom. Ooh, okay, boom. I should probably buy Fenix himself right now, as it stands. Yeah, but I've, like, just sort of crushed this wave here. And Zagara with Roaches looks like she does pretty good. It means that I think Zagara has more options besides just going pure Aberrations and Hunter Killers. And that Laser Beam is down. That is good news. And I know I probably could have bought Fenix there, but more Balls of Death. More Balls of Death, boys. Also because with enough Balls of Death, I'm pretty sure I can just, like, one-shot Dahaka. And what are those? I think my Adepts can handle those, right? I don't actually know if my Scouts can, because my Scouts only do bonus damage against Armored, so I'm not too confident about that. I'm gonna go buy Fenix, though. Soon. Boom. Oh, no. Ooh. Balls of Death actually cutting it down. You know, honestly, this feels so weird, going from Void from last week, where you basically couldn't see anything, to this week, where you could just see so much. Oh, boom, Balls of Death. Balls of Death, so we can just destroy those Archons. That Immortal Heal doesn't stand a chance. Oh, Balls of Death. Get them, boys. Guardian Shell here. Oh, wait, Balls of Death are going to see another wave. If they come here and see another wave here, that's going to be insane against the... Oh, the Thors are getting blown up. Any damage here is going to stick, and... There we have it, boys. There we have it. Nice. I don't know, I feel like every time I build Balls of Death on Phoenix, I always do pretty good. So I feel like the key to Phoenix is just how many of these things you buy. Uh, but also speaks to how Phoenix Air is kind of tenuous. Like, Phoenix Air is like mid-tier, I would say. It can beat some commanders, but for the most part, it kind of loses out because, I don't know, Phoenix carriers, I mean, carriers have, you know, the issue of being carriers. Scouts are pretty good, but they're not OP. You know, they'll lose to Devours, I think. They'll, actually, no, I think Devours might, actually, no, I feel like they might lose to Devours. And they'll lose to, like, Deimos Vikings. They'll lose to Raynor Vikings. Well, actually, no. They won't lose straight up, but they'll lose once the stack gets big enough. But yeah, let's have a look here. Ooh, I actually killed a lot of mineral value. Is that just because, I don't know, it's just like 1,000 more, so that's like, what, 2 Dahakas and like a Swarm Host? Makes sense. I don't know. Alright. Okay, well, let's get right into the tier list. Alright, and we're back. Let's get right to it. So, game plan. We're going to talk about the auras, overall strategy, and the commander rankings. For those of you who have decided to skip ahead and have been keeping up with this stuff, if you're not subscribed, please drop a sub because we're so close to 800. And yeah, let's go. So, Brawl modifiers. We have insight. Everything is revealed. I think the staging areas are not supposed to be revealed, but I think ever since they did something with insight, it's now been bugged, so you can see the staging area, which is great because now you know what your opponent's building. Next, we also have Stockpile, which lets you start with a bunch of money, and Discharge. Base structures have no shields. So I think this week's strategy is going to revolve around 2 things. Either you can meme around and go triple Swan and just try and stall the game with the beam, because the beam is very powerful at stalling. And if you guys saw there, like, that one beam was able to, like, beam down, like, 3 of my Legionaries before we were able to actually close to mid. And Legionaries have, like, a lot of HP. They got, like, 300 health, right? And so you can beam down. That's, like, 900 damage. So you can try and stall the game with Swan by going, like, triple beam and then, like, building some front line. Or you can just play hyper-aggressive commanders and just send it down. This is because the base structures have no shields. So whatever damage you do to it is going to stick forever. And that just means that the next time we hit the Nexus, it's going to be lower and lower health than before. So let's get into the Commanders rankings. So, S tier, I have Manx. Why? Because Manx is probably the most aggressive early bio wave ever. Yes, the beam is now going to mess up your bio wave a bit earlier. But you know what? Zerglings are small and they're fast and you can have lots of them, and the beam is going to get distracted jumping from one Zergling to the next one. And next, you're going to start with more money. So that means not only can you start with more Zerglings, you can also start with more boys to accompany those Zerglings. Very good. Next on the S tier, I think, is going to be Tychus. Tychus excels in games that last like 10 minutes, 15 minutes because, you know, he sort of, like, I don't know, Tychus doesn't skill hard enough into the late game. But early game, like, he just dominates because of, you know, he's Tychus. He does a lot of damage. And now that structures don't have any health, any, like, additional shields to it, you can just probably do, like, something whack where you go, like, Tychus and a bunch of Kevs and send it. Tychus is also decently good against Swan, in the sense that Swan needs to buy lots of Cyclones in order to actually deal with Tychus. And so if Tychus just overwhelms Swan before he can get critical massive Cyclones, he can win. Next, I actually have Stetman in the Stack Breaker format with the Banelings. You know what? Now that I look at this, I'm thinking about Stetman versus the Beam, and I just realized the Banelings are going to kind of suck. But Stetman's Zerglings did get buffed, so they're only 45 minerals now. So that might still be decent. But yeah, with Stetman, I think, like, if you get just lots of Banelings and they hit enemy structures, you're gonna have a fun time. I just feel like any commander with Banelings is gonna be pretty good this week. And then next in the A tier, I just have Swan because I think Swan will do okay. I think if you have too many Swans, it'll be kind of bad. I feel like triple Swan is just kind of bad. But you know, there's the meme potential, and because, like, you're just constantly applying pressure for your team with the beam, you can have a little bit more time to build towards your death ball, but you don't have as much time. So you got to figure things out fast. Next in the A tier, we have Vorzun. So Vorzun, I think, is A here because if you are up against Swan, I think Vorzun absolutely slaps Swan. If I'm not mistaken, because you can just get a bunch of Corsairs, take out all the science vessels and then have invisible void rays destroy everything Swan has. Very good. And that also being said, I think Warzone, if you just want to like turn off your brain, you can go like Stalkers, and you can stack for your team, because stacking this time is very important. Still, as per usual. So yeah, and then next we have Abathur. I think Abathur will be pretty good with like the Swarm Host Stacker strategy, because you can just sort of keep them hidden for the whole time, and they'll just constantly be spawning locusts. That being said, though, if you really do want to scale, I think Abathur's Brutalist got cheaper by 25 minerals, which is not too much, but, might make it viable now. I don't know. Brutalist, they're kind of... I didn't like them because I think they do mostly single target damage when it's like... Actually, no. They do single target damage to air units, but they still do AoE to ground units, but they attack way too slow for my liking. Anyways, in the last person in the A tier, I think, is actually Stukov. So, Stukov is pretty good at aggro early on, but what I'm looking at is like, if the game pans out to be a little bit longer, Stukov is actually good because he can stack up those heals, and he can actually heal your building. I think he's the only one who actually can do that. And so he can restore your Nexus that's damaged back to full health, or your cannon that's damaged back to full health. And so he has that comeback potential, provided he can hold it down, right? And Stukov does a pretty good job at that. So you can extend your games. So maybe it's like a Stukov Swan sort of game where like you guys all work together. So then like, Stukov plays the early aggro and heals up your base, and then Swan beams everything down. So maybe that's a good composition. I don't know. Next in the B, I want to say Alarak. Alarak is pretty strong, but he needs some time to get there because all of his units cost so much. I feel like once you're past like this 10-minute mark as Alarak, you should have enough Wrathwalkers where if you even get close to firing distance of enemy structures, they should get deleted. So Alarak is in no way going to end the game fast, but Alarak himself can just stay alive for quite a bit of time. So he can probably just eat the beam if you have enough chicken nuggets for him. Like, I don't know, you might just have to go chicken nuggets. You might just have to bring a lot of chicken nuggets to the fight. But Alarak will scale hard, and I think he would be able to beat Swan. I think he's just hands down going to be able to beat Swan if he just has Vanguard Wrathwalker, because Vanguard's volley will destroy frontline. Maybe not the Hellbats, but definitely the everything else Swan has. But yeah. Next, we have Raynor. I have Raynor here in the B because I'm thinking Raynor Bow is okay, but it doesn't scale. And the other strategy Raynor can go for is like Duskwings, the classic Death Fleet with the Banshees, which is pretty good. It's pretty good because they have a lot of range too. And I'm just thinking about like, if you have stockpile money, could you potentially rush Hyperion and get there earlier? That's a thought. Because what if the ideal team comp is like, I don't know, like you have like Swan, Stukov, and Raynor. So Stukov just holds down the fort with lots of aggressive civvies. Swan is Swan, and then Raynor is just sitting there saving for Hyperion, and then at like the 4-minute mark, the Hyperion comes out, and then Raynor can do whatever he wants after that. I feel like so much of my gameplay with Raynor just centers around the Hyperion now. It's like you get the Hyperion out as early as possible, pressure your opponent to deal with it, and then in that sense secure the airspace because you have Hyperion. Anyways, next is Han and Horner. I think Han and Horner is B here because Han and Horner also has similar issues with Alarak, where it's like it takes time to scale. Most of Han and Horner's like very powerful units cost quite a lot. But that being said, grenade cars and Reapers are very good against buildings, and you can build those in large amounts. So I think early game aggression can definitely be there. You could probably just run it down with a bunch of Reapers. That's not going to look good after like probably the second wave when your opponent gets like a little bit of AoE, but if they do touch the buildings, they will do huge amounts of damage to it. Next, B is the Haka. With the Haka, I have him as B because like he can sort of hold down the fort with like him being tanky, and then just run it down with Zerglings, Roaches, like small Dahaka if he needs to. And I don't know. I don't know if the Haka has good like structure busting potential. You could definitely do something with a bunch of Ultralisk, but you have to scale to Ultralisk, which I don't think this week you have the luxury of just sitting back and scaling. That being said, the Haka has Worms, which are very strong defensive structures that he can use to hold it down as well. So I feel like I definitely see the Haka as a commander that tries to stall out the game and then scale into something massive. And whatever that massive thing is, whether it be Creeper Host or just pure Swarm Host too, because apparently the Haka Swarm Hosts are really good, and I have just been passing them up this entire time. So maybe I'm gonna give it a try this week. Next we have the Bts Phoenix. I think Phoenix does early aggression quite nicely, simply because of how strong each and every one of his units are. And however, it's very easy to counter. You just get a bunch of Hellbats, and then actually he does a little bit better because his Legionnaires are so tough, but you just get a large amount of Hellbats, and he's going to have a bad time. But that being said, I feel like if you just like cheese with Disruptors, like turn off their blast, see if they can sneak by the fight, and just dump it on a building, I feel like that'd be hilarious. Like, it might work, might not work, right? But yeah, I don't know. Scaling, Phoenix doesn't really scale too well. Like, he suffers an issue with like other Protoss commanders that have access to carriers and Colossus, also known as Carrax, where the Colossus get shot down by air units and the carriers do pitiful amounts of damage to enemy air units with high armor. But yeah. Next in the C tier, I have Nova. So my reason with Nova is that she doesn't really play aggressive enough this week to capitalize on the on the what is it on the early aggression, and her units are quite expensive too, so she takes a bit of time to like get there, and so she doesn't really get online, I think, or like have a strong enough composition until like probably like 5 minutes into the game or 6 minutes into the game. So Nova's definitely gonna have to stall it out here. But if you do stall it out and your opponents are going pure ground, you can just spam siege tanks for days, because your siege tanks will never unsiege now if there's something in range. And if you have tier 3, they have 18 range, so there's probably something that's going to be in range. So potentially very good. Next in the C, I have Carrax. I'm thinking Carrax is actually not too bad here because with access to his beam, he can, every 5 minutes, push for a asymmetrical push where he just destroys his opponent's wave. And yeah, just shoves it down. That being said, though, I really foresee Carrax. I mean, Carrax got nerfed, guys. His Mirages got sent up to 145 minerals, and his carriers got sent up to 450 minerals. Why didn't he just bump his carriers back to 410? Why are they 450? I don't know. I don't feel like spawn carrier. I mean, Carrax carriers are that good because they're well. First of all, they're carriers. And second of all, they're carriers. I don't know why they got nerfed. I think Swan, like I'm not Swan. I keep saying Swan. I feel like Carrax, like as is, like maybe the Mirage nerf was okay. I don't see why the carrier nerf needed to happen. Maybe I just haven't encountered. But like every commander that I play or like to play has like very good answers to Carrax, which is why I probably just don't understand why Carrax got nerfed. But yeah, like I feel like Carrax is weak enough as is. I don't know why they nerfed him. But anyways, I think Carrax is gonna have to go air this week. Maybe as per usual. Maybe you can do something with like Sentinel, Colossus, Mirage. That might have to be the composition that you have to go every time. The only issue is that Mirages don't hit buildings. That's the only issue. But you can definitely crush the ground with that composition. Next in the C, we have Kerrigan. Kerrigan herself is very good. But then like all the other units she has access to is not very good. She really only starts like becoming monstrous on the ground once she gets access to her Ultralisk, which are tier 3 and they cost quite a lot. But when she does get access to them and she does get online, she does have a pretty strong shoving potential. Maybe like Ultralisk, Hydralisk, and Broodlords at the very end to support, because Broodlords will just sort of shoot at stuff, but she can't really protect them too well. So I don't know. And then finally, let's talk about Zagara. I have Zagara placed in the C/D tier. I would have placed Zagara in the D tier had she not gotten access to roaches. So Zagara also got some roaches, 65 minerals, just plain old roach, nothing special about it, no upgrades to it, just it's just a roach, right? this changes up what she can potentially do. Like the Zagar in my game that you guys just saw went Roach and then Lings and then Banelings, and that was decently effective. So I'm wondering how would that affect the standard, not the standard, but like what I've been doing with just rushing abs, right? I don't think Roaches will actually give Zagar any recourse to like commanders like Han and Honor. Like I played a game yesterday, just having fun, and I queued up as Zagar into Han and Honor, and I was like, oh great. I'm screwed. The reason I'm saying this is because Roaches have 4 range, so they move within range of Han and Horner's Shredder abilities, like with the Daemon's Vikings. So it doesn't really help. So yeah, I mean it's a secondary front line, I guess, and you can definitely just build it. They're accessible at tier 2. You can definitely just build it and like not have to build abs, But I don't know. Zagar still is a commander that needs a lot of money and time to scale. But once she has scaled, she'll crush most buildings. But the early part, her early aggression, kind of sucks. And finally in the D tier this week, I have Artenius. Artenius is here because I don't think he deals too well with most of the early aggressive commanders. Like I'm looking at like Tychus, I'm looking at Manx here. Probably another early aggro commander you probably might see is just Raynor, as well, like Raynor Bao just running it down. And I think actually Artenius is pretty well against Stukov if he gets spitting Zelts. But other than that, like he needs time to scale to build towards his Crusher comp, and if he doesn't get to like critical mass fast enough, then he's just kind of useless. And this week there's less room for that, so I feel like Artenius is not as great this week. All right, that's the tier list, and those are my thoughts about the rankings. What do you guys think? Be sure to let me know. I always enjoy reading about it. Resonance, you always have some really good insights, and I'm always interested to see what you have to say, because you think of things that obviously I don't think of, right? And I like to see how that matches up, and that helps me create a more informed tier list for next time. But anyway, guys, that's it for this tier list. I will see you guys in the next video. And